What is going on? Might sound like I'm in a swamp with all the bugs going on. Kind of am. Yard's super flooded. I'm pretty much standing in a puddle right now. But I'm bored and I don't really have nothing else to do. Done all the driveway work that I can do on cars, and I'm waiting to get cars in the shop. But it's so wet down here, I can barely walk down here. So I figured it'd be a good time to change my fuel pump out. I messed with the Oldsmobile a couple months ago now. I was going to start it up. It's been a while since I tinkered with it. I worked on the Nova a little bit a long time ago, and the starter wire come off the starter, the battery wire come off the starter, so I haven't messed with it in a while. Figured I'd go back on the Oldsmobile and work on it. Yeah, geese flying over apparently. So I threw a hot battery in it. It fired right up after sitting for quite a while, probably like a year now. So I was happy with that. And this liquid started spraying all over here, and it was fuel, so that was cool. So I determined I gotta put a fuel pump on it, so I guess that's what I'm gonna do today. Ain't really gonna be like a how-to or nothing. It's pretty much just gonna be hanging out with me, probably hear me cussing a bunch, and try and get this thing running again. So let's hop to it, I guess. In my infinite wisdom, I was trying to bring as many tools as I could. I say that, and I brought like 5 tools to not have to go back and forth to the shop 1,000 different times, but I can already see I'm gonna have to make another trip back to the shop. I was assuming a 9/16 held the fuel pump on. I was incorrect there, big time. There is a 3/8 bolt that goes in the front of the block, which is a 9/16 head, which I was right there. But yeah, you can't get a ratchet in there. I got a deep well socket anyways, and that won't get in there. So I'm going to go to the shop and get a ratcheting 9/16 wrench, so I can throw a bolt in there to hold the little fuel pump rod in position so I don't have to fight it. There's a bolt right there. But yeah, let's start walking back and forth and get my pants legs a little bit more wet. That ought to be cool. So I'm back from trip number 1 to the shop. And not one, but both of my ratcheting wrenches are up at the house, so that's cool. I'm not going up there to get that. So I'll just hand jam it with a regular old wrench, quarter turn at a time. That ought to work out pretty good. Not to mention there's a wasp nest somewhere around here, and that is really extremely tight. So that's cool too. Guess could have brought 2 wrenches and made a whole nother trip back to the shop. Go get another one. So that ain't gonna work there. Let's see if I can double up this adjustable wrench. How about that? That just might work. Yep, that worked. Saved me a trip. So yeah, when I'm working out here on this thing, it's like working a million miles away. I try and make as little trips back and forth as possible. Especially now, everything's wet. You know, if everything isn't wet, it's not so bad. It is just straight up soaked, and it sucks. So I've been thinking about tinkering with this thing. I mean, I'm always thinking about tinkering with it, but it never really happens. But seeing as I'm at my Fleetwood, I figured I'd tinker with this. You know, maybe get it back on the road one day. It's got a pretty worn out motor in it, I say. It's a 305, and a lot of people probably ask me why I have a 305 in it. My answer is it was free, and it runs. And I figure if a V6 can haul a Regal around with 14 batteries in it, tons of weight, a full frame, why can't the 305 haul this thing around? You know, it's done it for years and years. And like I said, it was free. You know, I myself like 305s. Never had an issue with them. They always seem to run good. And I ain't no high horsepower. I'm not building a race car or nothing here. So dependability is kind of a big deal. Like I said, I've had very, very good luck out of 305s. It's basically just a lower horsepower 350 is all it is. I will rock that. That's cool with me. At one time I had it looking really, really good. It was funny. The car looked like crap, but the engine bay, it looked like a show car. And I had the alternator all polished up. You know, everything was painted. The valve covers were actually really nice. You got some pretty sweet little wire looms for the spark plugs on here. And yeah, it's kind of sat and everything's deteriorated since then. So now the motor matches the car, and it all looks like crap. But maybe one day I'll actually sink a little bit of money in this. Thought about just taking it to, like, I don't know what we have over here, Spray Glow or Mako, whatever the cheap paint place is around here. And just have them put some color on it. It would make it look 1,000 times better. Just dump a little bit of money into it, buy some batteries. I think I got some pumps I could throw in it. Basically just beat the hell out of it. It's kind of what I built it to do, you know, built it to be a hopper. But I also kind of wanted to make a show car of it at the same time, which I have now realized that ain't gonna happen, so might as well build it and have fun with it, you know, while I can. So maybe we'll do that, you know, might be a goal for this year or the next few years maybe. But I know one thing's for damn sure, it ain't gonna happen if I don't do anything to it. So that's why I figured I'd come out here and tinker around with it today. I think I got my bolt tight enough to hold that rod. We'll see when I pull the fuel pump off and it flies off. Let's see, pull the fuel line so it can create a vacuum and leak all over. And I used a 7mm, maybe quarter inch socket to put that on there. I can get a screwdriver on there. Yeah, I figured I wouldn't be able to get to the head of the hose clamp. You know, that would make perfect sense, but I can. So that's good at least. Should have probably brought me a pair of pliers to get the fuel line off with. We'll figure something out. See if we can pry off the fuel pump or something. That's not working good so far. Come on. We got movement. That's a good sign. Well, I got like 40 feet of fuel line that I can cut back if I need to. Cool. Got that. Hey, Mr. Wasp, how's it going? That fuel smells delicious. It's only been in there for a couple years now. And that is not a 9/16, so that's cool. Got it. Probably should have brought some penetrating oil. I am quite positive this fuel line has been on there since 1985. We're good, we're moving. I'll take a win when I can. It doesn't happen a lot. I learned to cherish these moments. So anyways, while I'm unthreading this mile-long thread, if you don't already know, this was my first car. I got it when I was like 15, I think. Still got it to this day. I had put tons and tons of work in this, but you would never know it from the looks. I got a video on the car when I was picking it up from Florida and bringing it home. So you can check that out. I'll put a little tab thingy up in the top window. You can check it out. Kind of save you time watching this video explaining all that. But it's one of them deals where I work on it every now and then, get it looking decent, get it running, and then I let it completely sit for many, many years. It's like a tradition now, you know, a 20-year-long tradition. Maybe one of these years I'll make it stop, but probably ain't gonna happen this year. I'll probably put a fuel pump on it, get it running again, and it'll sit right here. And that's not a 10mm. Sweet. Back to the shop we go. You figure I'd bring a whole socket set out here, but that just isn't any fun. So, on to trip number 2. And we're back. Got a pocket full of sockets, and I'm sure I'll still have the wrong one. Yeah, this isn't looking good. That's cool. There's number 11. I think that'll fit. That ain't looking too bad. What is looking bad? My extension's pretty long. I gotta have an extension to get the back bolt. And there's an A-arm in the way, so I mean, that's cool. I'll roll with it. Yep, that's pretty well right in the way. I might be able to get to it. Good thing I got a foldable ratchet. There we go. It will prevail. One way or another. Quarter turn at a time, I guess. Yep, there's a bunch of wires and fuel lines and stuff in the way. See you guys in about an hour. I get one bolt out. Now would be a great moment to take a pause and see if your new part matches your old part before you take your old part off. Leave a gaping hole inside your block for God knows how long. Yeah, looks close enough. We'll make it fit one way or another, I guess. Got one out. It's a good start. Numero 2. Now it's time for the pump. That. A little fuel pump rod stayed up there, so that's cool. And I guess the gasket worn out there. There's just shooting fuel. It still worked. The diaphragm and all that still. That's bad fuel. Diaphragm and all that still worked. But had a heavy external leak, and seeing as there's headers here, probably wouldn't be that good for fuel to be spraying all over them. You know, little safety concerns every now and then don't hurt. Yeah, I told myself the first time when I come out here, I should probably bring a razor or a scraper or something like that to get the whole gasket off. I did bring some Permatex. Oop, as I dropped the bolts. Yeah, I brought some Permatex, but forgot the scraper. Guess we'll make a screwdriver maybe work. Doesn't look like it's gonna work too well. We're gonna continue on anyways. Maybe it'll get better from here on out. Beautiful. Good enough. It's good enough for me. Probably good enough for the rest of the world. I guess they plan for you to fail. They give you 2 gaskets. It's not a very good sign. Let's try and get it right the first time. How about that? Yep, that looks like that'll fit there good. We'll open this up, find out it's completely hard, and we'll have to go get something to stab the end of the tube. Yep, nailed that. Called it. So that's cool. Getting lucky. Like a booger. Put that on the belt, maybe it'll help keep quiet. Alright, so we're having some luck today. I'll lean on my radiator here and break the inlet tube off. Smear a little bit of gasket sealant on there. Why not? Let me know your take on gasket sealant. Are you one of the people that says, what the hell is a gasket? Just put some RTV on it and it's good enough? I've been there, trust me. But are you one of those people that says gasket sealant is just an extra thing they try and sell you at the parts store? You don't need it. That's what they make gaskets for, dummy. Been there too. But I do use gasket sealant. I don't know, just a backup, I guess. Makes me sleep better at night. How about that? That and it mainly just holds the gasket in place really well, which I do like that. One less thing to fight. I got enough stuff that I gotta fight, trying to keep stuff going around here. That'll do. Try and smear it all around and move the gasket. And we're looking good so far. Wipe the excess on there, or why not? At least the RTV smells good. Alright. Fuel pump is fitting in there good so far. I mean, should, right? Bolt holes started. Probably should have started the back one first, you know, the one that's hard to get to. That would be too smart. We don't do that kind of stuff around here. If it ain't stupid, we don't want nothing to do with it. Yeah, it's acting a little crusty. We'll just send it, cross thread it. Back out that way. No, we did it right. We got threads. Go ahead and send her on home. Mr. Deeds is running around somewhere. Ooh, he's in trouble. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. We'll either get it or we'll cross right trying. Trade one fuel leak for another, I guess. I think we got it. Man. I would say I am on fire today, but that'll end up leaving the Oldsmobile on fire today, and we don't want that. We already have one lowrider that's on fire. We don't need any more. Note to self. Remember to take that 3/8 bolt out of the front of the block that I put in there to hold that fuel pump rod. That would suck. I'm sure it probably, well, I say I'm sure it still moved. Probably end up wiping the cam lobe clean off, put a bunch of metal shavings in the engine. You know, pretty much just tearing stuff up. Back bolt is in place. Front bolt is in place. Wonderful. Make sure we got our fuel line tightened up. I think I can go a little bit more. Completely break it off in the block. Nope, we're good. Good enough. Good enough until it leaks. Got our rancid fuel line here that I've been huffing on. This straight up is like varnish or turpentine, whatever everybody says fuel turns into. But the motors still run. That's what amazed me. It is like literally, I think it's 2 years old now. Happy birthday. Yeah, car's been sitting here for a little while. Whenever I put my other video out, that was the day I brought it home. So whatever date that was, is how long it's been sitting here. Just chilling. Waiting its turn like it always does. Got that tight. Yeah, it feels like super brown, but it still runs. It amazed me. The old 305, it doesn't care. It doesn't need no stinking high octane. Alright, it looks like that job is complete. Went pretty good. Let's take that bolt out that I was talking about for getting in there, which I almost forgot in there. Good thing it was shiny. If it wasn't shiny, that would have been my hiney. I would be saying, idiot. Well, that acted like it would have come out better than what it did. Ratcheting wrench would be really nice. What's crazy is I buy tools and then I start working up at the house or something like that. So I buy another set of tools so I ain't go back and forth. But then for some odd reason I take both of those tools up to the house. And then I'm down here. Guess what? I ain't got no frickin' tools. Yep. Story of my life. Or I put them in my truck, you know. Try and be smart and have tools when you're out on the road in case something happens. And then my wife's got a truck and I don't have any tools still. So yeah, maybe I need to buy like 4 sets of tools. They probably still end up all in the truck though. Smear a little bit of RTV on that. Seeing as I know for a fact that goes into the oil passage. Or oil at least travels at. Is it necessary? I don't know. Is it going to make a mess? Yes. Yes, it is. And when I drop it in the mud, it will have everything stick to it. And then it'll be like nature's Loctite. And I don't have any rear brakes on this. That is awesome. Something must have dried out and leaked. That's cool. Got a little brand new brakes on it than the last time I drove it. You know, like 10 years ago. Yep, that's come out a lot easier than it's going in. RTV is everywhere. I didn't say that right. Is it RTV or RBT? I don't remember anymore. It's been so long since I used this stuff. It doesn't say on there. So RTV it is. So I get mad at people when they call it the wrong thing. I think I'm calling it the wrong thing. Hypocrite. Alright, we got it threaded. Moving on up. Yep. That's cool. Smear it there. That's what boxes are for anyways. Yeah. Alright, that's all tightened up. Fuel line's on. Fuel pump's on. Correct bolt is in there. I'm going to go run around and try and find a battery. While I do that, that'll give that RTV enough time to set up. We should be ready to fire up. Probably should grab some starting fluid. That would make it a lot easier. Don't know if I want to do that though. That wouldn't be any fun. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the battery starts. If the battery isn't worth a crap, I'll give it a little spray. Get it to bust off. Hopefully get the pump some fuel. If it wants to be spunky and turn over, we'll see if she'll do it on her own. How about that? How about that, right? Catch me outside. Yeah, I'm outside. So, I thought I was going to be smart and trying to utilize my work and bring my hand truck up to the house to go get a battery. Get out to the house and didn't bring the hand truck, so that's cool. Borrowed one of Demetrius' batteries. I'm sure he won't mind. Throw this in here and see if this bad boy fires off. This is a deep cycle battery, so it should work, you know. It ain't the first time this car has had a deep cycle battery to start the engine. That's all I used to have back in the day in high school. It worked every single time. I actually liked it because I could run it dead, wait a little bit, and fire up and get me where I needed to go every single time. That is a ground. I think, yep, that's ground. Black. This is red. Idiot proof, right? No major sparks. It's always good. Shouldn't be. Shouldn't be any sparks, I say. Not that it shouldn't be good. Alright. Let's turn her over, see what she does, and I'm going to fire off the first few tries. Let's see if we can get some fuel up to the filter and go from there. How about that? Get a little squishy ground. Don't need no key, that's a good thing. So if you come to steal my Oldsmobile, bring you a battery and some glasses. And then you got no glass for the windshield. Old dependable 305. Fuel smells good. Delicious. Oh snap! I got fuel in the filter. That's a really good sign. Whoa! Almost buzzed my butt. That would have been a bad sign. Oh crap! I honestly expected it to bust off there. I'm surprised it didn't. I got a leak of fuel on top of the motor now, so that's sweet. Didn't have that before. And I put my screwdriver up, so that's even better. Let's see if we can tighten it with an adjustable wrench. How about that? Getting all kinds of leaks. I guess when I moved the fuel line, it moved it just enough to make a leak, maybe. This is the one that goes to the carburetor, obviously. And that ain't gonna work, so we're just gonna let that be, because that intake isn't gonna get hot enough to fire it up. Unless it backfires out of the intake, then it probably will. That could be a problem. We'll address that when we get to that problem. It, she's really leaking good now. Well, I can't say it run better last time. Granted, the fuel's a lot darker than it was last time too. You know, maybe I can make it around here a little faster. What if I go through the windshield with the same mistake? pressure anyways. Watch those ruined days. So I'm back from like trip number 6. Got a hose clamp. I was gonna be smart and get my 1/4" drive ratchet so I can really tighten this thing down. But anybody want to guess? It's up at the house, so that's awesome. So on my way back into the shop, I stepped into a really big puddle. Now the front of my sandals are filled up with water and sand, so that's even cooler. This actually, it doesn't want to come off. And do I have a knife on me? No, I do not. I do have some scissors on me, but don't quite think that's gonna get it. And this isn't looking too good either. Cool if I had another fuel line. I guess I could cut some out of that. Or not. Come on, come off there. Jesus. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Slice my hand open. Get a few days off of work, maybe. There we go. It didn't splash me, so that's good. That rubber is super hard. Perfectly straight cut. Could use that fuel line. It's just as hard. Off my old hose clamp, I suppose. Or maybe I'll leave it. That's cool. At least I can see it. All the way to the bottom. See if I can drop it twice. Probably can. Yep, did it again. Well, that's turning out like pure crap. So, this is going to end this video. Actually, I'm going to see if I have a fuel hose. I'm pretty positive I do not. So, it might end the video. Let's find out. Only had to make 1/8 of a trip that time. I borrowed it from the Nova. She won't mind. Sharing parts that keep each other alive. Maybe that'll be tight enough. My freaking back is tight enough, it's starting to kill me. Well, there we have it. Now the whole engine is saturated in fuel. Let's see if it'll start. Something more impressive than this thing running? Check this out. I was gonna say no oil pressure, but it finally just jumped up. Check out that clock. It works. Some may not think that's a big deal. This car didn't come with a clock. And I really don't remember hooking it up. Apparently I did. So the question wasn't, will it run? The real question is, will that tire hold air? I see you down trying to get away from me. So now we're back from trip number 7. Trip number 8. You might think I forgot a trip, but I didn't. Cool, just spilled apple mud. Yeah, I went into the shop, got a hose. Of course, it wasn't long enough. Looks like that brake hose is busted. That's cool. I don't need brakes anyways. But yeah, I had to go up to the house and get the other air hose to make it long enough to get out here. Alright, moment of truth. Good sound. Oh, look at that. Get my hood out, my hand out from under the hood so when it comes flying down, it doesn't chop my fingers off. She's leaking somewhere, so that's cool. And we go 2 for 2. This one's a 13. And it's pretty buried. But we are in luck. It is super, super dry rotted. I want my face down there, really. Far right. You got air? You sure don't. Yep, that's pretty hard. That's what she said. Fuel gauge actually works. Pretty sweet. Now the brake pedal. Do we have transmission fluid? Yeah, that's hard. Trip number 9 was a success. My pants leg is saturated up to my calf, which is 2. Let's just fire up. Yep, there's a problem right there. Got a transmission fluid. That's a good problem. actually going to try and drive it to the house. Yeah, the ground is super, super soft. Did good on a little driveway thingy, but when it hit the actual grass, yeah, it wasn't happening. Luckily I had gravity on my side. Let's probably back that up a little bit. It did almost get away. Almost got ran over. So there we go. Oldsmobile runs and drives yet again. There's a bunch of wasps in there. That's cool. Yeah, totally runs and drives. Not a big deal. Done my work on it for the year. I'm gonna let her sit. Smell transmission fluid burning, so we're not gonna worry about that. That'll be next year's project. Anyways, I'm gonna end it here. If you watched it this long, appreciate it. I'm sure it probably hadn't been that fun of a video, but maybe you had some enjoyment out of it. I don't know. Maybe we'll start working on this thing a little bit more. We'll see how it goes. Step number one, get it out of there and somewhere else. House, shop, I don't know. Shop probably ain't gonna be happening anytime soon. Damn sure didn't make it to the house, so we'll see how it goes, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, hit the like button, subscribe, share it. Awesome video, I know. I'll see you next time. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys watching. Just remember, you won't know what you can do till you try. Might be able to get a old heapy junk running. So if you couldn't tell by the pinging and knocking valve train, this thing does not like that turpentine fuel. But it still moves, so that's pretty cool. Maybe one of these days I'll splash some new fuel in there, maybe a fuel cleaner. I don't know. I mean, it's done so good so far with what it has. Why change up what's working right, you know? But anyways, yeah, it runs, it drives, it's alive. Pretty happy about that.
What seems to be the problem?
Good shot. Got away free. It lives to die another day.